Hi there, my name is Emobosa Nereme and I am the Customer Success Manager at Web Work Tools Limited. Today I want to talk to you about our supply chain management solutions and I'm just going to be spending a few minutes. So we built a supply chain management series of solutions. Yeah, we have Supply Captain, Supply Platform, and Supply Nexus. So Supply Captain is a solution for managing the purchasing, supply, issuance, and inventory of food items. Now, Supply Platform is almost the same. It's just that it focuses on industrial items, while Supply Nexus has a mix of both. Let me take you around briefly. For Supply Captain, we have the same features. So I'm going to take you through the features in Supply Captain and talk about the differences. So we've done a demo here. You have requisitions, you have orders, bills, payments. But let's start from the beginning. So Supply Captain allows you to set up all the locations in your business, all the stations in your business, all the stores in your business, all the kitchens in your business, and then of course the users, because users are the very first thing you should set up before even setting up location, station, stores, and kitchens. Then you have all your suppliers, the people you buy from. The next thing you set up in Supply Captain is the sections where things are stored in your different stores. They are global, and then you use them across the stores. Then you have units that have to do with bottle, carton, crate, liter, kilograms, and all of that. And you see that there's a weight measurement here, which aligns with store items. So here you have store items. We've done something here. These are items across different stores, different stations, different locations, even different sections. So these items can be issued or supplied across these various sections. And then there are minimum quantities required and their total weights are here. That's the interesting part. So the items and their weights are calculated according to the quantity. So if you want to move things in a bus or in a truck, you can determine that from here. Then you have global items. Global items are actually set up before store items can be added. Store items are added automatically when you purchase or issue or supply items. So now the thing is, in terms of Supply Captain being having global items, these global items are more like a register of all the items that your business will be working with their estimated prices and all. And as you continue to do business, their prices get to be updated automatically. Then in here, you have your costing method. You have first in, first out. You have last in, first out. All these are first in, first out, warning expiry days, and you have your settings. So now, when you set up your inventory, after setting up your locations in administration, then you can start requisitions. So you submit requisitions here. You pick, open this form here. You select the items. You put a subject. You choose the items that are to be purchased. Put quantity. Choose the issuing station and the supply station, and then you can add it. It's going to request for approval. Approval can be done simply from this approval section to the necessary parties who are configured for approvals in each station. So you have, approval users, you have internal requisition, external requisition, the flag reviewer. You even have the store manager who is notified when things happen. So now, when you've done your requisition, assuming the requisition was for purchases, you need to generate orders from here. So when you generate orders, you're going to see the order here. Now you can add order manually, add bill manually, add payment manually. But you see, for a fast moving business, you need to generate orders and just make changes. So you see now that this one was generated as requested, as you can see here. So you select your supplier and then you generate bill. We've already done that here, and that marked it as processed, gave it a PO number, which was referenced to the bill. And when the bill is generated, as you can see here, when we open this, we see a proper purchase order that can be printed and given to a supplier to go and bring the items. You can also record payments when the payments have been made. But for businesses using this, it doesn't require you to make payments before you receive supplies. So you have the supply section where your team at your various locations, including your head office, can receive the items in supply. And we've done some of these here where you can see the items in supply, and these items are basically of different sections, stores, and all of that. So basically, this tells you how the items came. And you need to get like a printer and scanner so that you can deal with, things like the batch code, batch number, unit code, and all that, like you have in the supermarket. Then for supply, you have what is called flag. A flag is recorded when there's a shortage or excess. So if there's a shortage, it's a shortage flag, and then it's recorded against the item. This requires approval. So if something is received less, like what I ordered was not what I got, you're going to have the opportunity to use flags in this way. Then, assuming some of the flagged items, let's say you flagged items short of two, you can then have that these two items were actually not short. They were actually spoiled. So you have to return them. And you can return them back to an issuance of the same item, or you can return them to the supplier. In this case, we return this basmati rice back to the issuer. And then you have dispatches. Dispatches are used for tracking items that are going to maybe like a truck or something. So, and is prepared against issuances. So when items are issued, you can then choose to like select the item, select the different options and all that, and then issue the items out. But when you're selecting those options, you have the opportunity to choose a dispatch. You won't see dispatch here because you have to put the right preferences that qualify to select the dispatch. Okay. So when you do that, you are going to have your issuances that you have created that allow you to move the items out of a particular store and then receive the items in a different store. Now, when you finish issuing and receiving up and down, you can then consume the items. So this is where you record consumptions for the items, and you consume them according to the way they were purchased and they were received. You can do either planning of consumption or you can do actual consumption. So if it's just a plan, you can record all your consumption plans here. Or then if it's actual consumption, you choose consumption and you have the consumption date here. So this is the shortest we can go to explain what supply captain does. In another video, we're going to just explain the peculiarities between supply captain, supply platform, and supply nexus. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.